All right. This is my Mr. Miyagi moment. That's like one of the most epic scenes in an 80s movie of all time. He's just like, do it. Do it. Daniel-san, you don't have to. Just do it. Man. Karate Kid. It's not a real HasLab. They just sold it on the HasLab page. That's true. Yeah, we have Undisputed 4 tomorrow night at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. I will be there. We'll be talking toys. So you guys definitely want to check that out for sure. T3, throw a link in the chat so people can make sure they're following. Dave says the completionist come through for Hasbro again. Not this guy. Too niche. And Patrick is on the fence. My wallet's still trembling on the HasLab. Patrick is struggling. Pray for him. People, pray for Patrick. And pray for Gina Carano. This story broke last week. I believe it was last week or maybe the end of the previous week. But Gina Carano sues Disney over firing from The Mandalorian. Elon Musk funding the suit. Now, this sent shockwaves through the Star Wars space, through the nerd space, right? Which is pretty, we like to think we're pretty sizable in the grand scheme of things in the world. Nobody else cared. I'm not going to lie. I'm a little surprised, but at the same time, not. But this was not anything that was like, on regular news, people are talking about it. This kind of was just like, it was just like out there. So Gina Carano sued Disney and Lucasfilm on Tuesday. This comes from Variety. On Tuesday for her firing from The Mandalorian in 2021 over a social media post of which she compared being Republican to being Jewish during the, can't say it on YouTube. The suit, filed in California federal court, alleges wrongful termination and discrimination, as well as a demand that the court should force Lucasfilm to recast her and pay at least $75,000 in punitive damages. Elon Musk is funding the suit following his promise to pay for legal actions taken by people claiming discrimination from posts to Twitter/X. However, the post in question originated on Carano's Instagram. So, this is via The Independent. Because I was really curious about the Elon connection there. Elon is funding a court case that claims that it attacks Disney. Sorry. Elon Musk is funding a court case that claims that attacks Disney for making clear. Does that read weird or is that just me? Anyway, that only one orthodoxy. I'm an idiot. I'm sorry. In thought, speech, or action was acceptable in their empire. The case is being brought by actor Gina Carano. The accuses blah, blah, blah. Same thing we read before. Last summer, as Mr. Musk was looking to promote his newly renamed X platform as a host for free speech, he made a commitment to fund court cases brought by those who felt they had been unfairly treated because of their post on the site. Here's a quote. Where the quotations are out of, there's two at the beginning. All right. If you were unfairly treated by your employer due to posting or liking something on this platform, we will fund your legal bill. All right, there's the other quotation. He said in a tweet in August. He made clear there would be no limits to the funding and anyone interested should get in touch. Sup, Steve? Good to see you. Dave, I will address that. All right, so what I feel has happened, right? I'm gonna jump over here real quick. YouTube, Gina Carano sues. So the fandom menace section of the Star Wars space has really grabbed this. They've really grabbed this, and they're backing Gina. They've been backing Gina Carano for a long time. This side of the nerd aisle, we'll say. And it's very confusing to me. I'll say it's very confusing to me. Now, Hey Archer of Nerd Affiliated, used to consume all of this. All of this. I was fandom menace without even knowing I was fandom menace. I was, to the previous point, I'd be on a date with somebody talking about, man, yeah, Disney's really fucking up by all this woke stuff. And they'd be like, I don't care. I would tell my friends who also watch Star Wars and Marvel and, oh man, they're, all this, the woke stuff they're doing, it's really starting to hurt the business. And they'd be like, cool, but is there another Star Wars show coming out? Or they'd be like, cool, I stopped watching Star Wars a long time ago. So it's weird that the one end of the group, the massive casual fan, could care less about what's happening. But then like the extreme other side, I didn't intentionally go to the right, but the extreme other side, that's like, Disney sucks. Disney's woke. Disney's whatever, has really grabbed onto Gina Carano. It's very weird. It's a very weird thing. So Gina Carano, if you don't know, was a professional mixed martial artist. That's when I became a fan of Gina Carano. She was in Elite XC, ended up going to Strike Force, and her final fight was against Cristiano Cyborg. Justino. She's changed her names like 3 times. She's a Cyborg. Just call her Cyborg. So she lost to Cyborg, and going into that fight, to take you guys back all the way to that moment in time, 2009 is when that fight happens. Women in mixed martial arts was not really a serious thing. Like, they were there, right? They were starting to show up on like local shows. They were, here and there, you'd watch a TV show and they're like, oh, this is whoever. Your up and coming Misha Tate. She fights for a living. You're like, whatever. Women boxing, you knew like Muhammad Ali's daughter. But in mixed martial arts, not so much. So Gina Carano, going into this Cyborg fight, it was kind of like you have this pretty girl who looks like she grew up in the middle of nowhere, USA, against somebody who looks like they've been on steroids since they were born. It was absolutely polarizing to see those two. They fight. Cyborg smokes Carano, and it doesn't help. It doesn't help women's mixed martial arts. Carano leaves. Dana White is like, women will never fight in the UFC because it doesn't look right. To him, it was like, it doesn't look right. And also the skill level wasn't there at that moment on a broad base. On like if I'm to spread a wide net or cast a wide net, the skill set wasn't there on TV to be like entertainment and not like a gimmick. So a lot of us in the fan base, we were like, Gina Carano, come back. You were actually good. Like, fight again for your belts. Never did. In comes Ronda Rousey, and Ronda kind of like takes the ball from where Gina left off. So Gina Carano, she was getting popular, loses the belt. People want her back. You have, again, this like beautiful woman who can kick your ass. That's champion, loses. People are like, we lost the good one. Ronda comes out. Ronda fights Misha Tate, changes the game. And again, Ronda kind of takes the ball from, actually Misha Tate, you can kind of say took the ball from Gina Carano, passed that to Ronda. Ronda takes it, runs with it. And for years, all people were asking for was, we want Gina Carano to fight Ronda Rousey. This is the mega fight. This is the super fight in the women's martial arts space, mixed martial arts space. And Gina was still training the whole time. So Gina had this like hardcore fan base that was just behind her for years. Like, we want you back. We want you back. We want you back. She was like, I'm tired of getting punched in the face. And you don't get paid a lot. It's not worth it. You spend all these months training, and in 5 minutes, your life's either over or, it goes on. So she never did it. She never came back. But she dipped her toes into acting. She got the starring role in, was it Livewire, Haywire? Turns out they didn't use her voice in the movie. She was just there. But then she lands Star Wars and becomes a star. Gina breaks out of the mixed martial arts world, becomes, I'm not going to say she's crossed into B-lister territory, because most people still would not know her walking around, but the Star Wars fans know who she is. The Star Wars fans would see her and be like, oh my God, it's Gina Carano, the actress, not the mixed martial artist. So she started to hit. And I think we can all agree, even in The Mandalorian, acting wasn't the greatest. It wasn't the greatest. Oh, Deadpool. Sorry. You guys mentioned that before. She was in Deadpool as well. But the acting wasn't the greatest. Like Gina and Fast and Furious, she was in that too. Like Gina's role in all these movies going into The Mandalorian was like, tough girl stands there, pretty, can kick your ass. That's where it was. In The Mandalorian, she actually gets some lines. She gets to do some acting. And she does okay. She does all right. But she's a badass character. That's what we like about Gina Carano. She's cool. Now, what's weird, just to jump points here, what's weird is that the Fandom Menace people don't really fuck with Gina Carano at this point. They don't fuck with The Mandalorian at all. They hate the show. They hate all Disney Star Wars. But then we announce Gina Carano is going to get her own spinoff. So Gina Carano here, this is inside the magic. This is like straight up Disney right here. Gina Carano ranks as one of the world's biggest stars right now. Gina Carano, the actress who plays Cara Dune on the hit Disney Plus series The Mandalorian, has seen far more than her fair share of controversies in recent weeks. Since the second season of The Mandalorian, Carano has been vocal about her feelings regarding various social and political issues on social media. Although she can certainly use her personal platform to share whatever she wants to post, many of her views have divided her followers and other Mandalorian fans around the web. Carano's opinions, particularly regarding face mask and the coronavirus vaccine, have been divisive. This has, as one might expect, led to a great deal of press for the Star Wars actress. Not all of it positive. One recent post garnered over 38,000 likes, but also sparked the hashtag Fire Gina Carano. So this article, the reason I read this, December 17th, 2020. So in 2020, she's on the up and coming. She's finally crawled her way up in something not combat sports related. Killing it in The Mandalorian, about to get her own show, and she starts to rock the boat. Starts rocking the boat. Now, our best source on the internet, trust me, bro, hashtag trust me, bro, said, and the rumors went around the internet, that Disney was like, all right, you need to chill out. You need to chill out. You are becoming popular. You are, this show, The Mandalorian season 1 and 2, very good for us. Very good for us. You need to chill out. You need to chill out. She's like, no, not happening. Not happening. So all of a sudden, she ups the ante a little bit. Oh, I put these out of order. This was in September. So before even that one, the Star Wars Mandalorian star Gina Carano accused of mocking trans people with boop, bop, beep pronouns joke. So again, in this timeline, in this fall, winter of 2020, Disney from hashtag Trust Me Bro is like, yo, Gina, you need to stop. Like, you need to chill out. You got to like relax. And her argument, when we get to the lawsuit portion, is free speech. Her argument is, I am being persecuted because I am right-leaning, and I just want to say my opinion. I want to talk. Kind of like what we all do. We all give our opinions on the internet. Well, the problem is the whole like not safe for work thing, right? All of us that create content, we know there's certain lines on the internet we cannot cross, because you don't want to get pulled into HR because they're like, hey, did you really share this thing online? Your face next to whatever this thing is. You don't want to deal with that. You don't want to be in that situation. But with a lot of these celebrities, sometimes is the celebrity gets to their head and they start to think, I don't have to follow like the normal rules of engagement. I can kind of just do whatever I want. I'm bigger than that franchise. I can say, do, because they need me. I'm the star. I'm the next star. They need me. And I'm going to be the voice of whatever's counter to what society says we should do, what we should say. Nobody, I'm not going to say nobody, 95% of people are not bigger than the show. You're just not. You're just not. Disney's out here in 2020 fighting tooth and nail against the fandom menace, against the low viewership, to try to get as many eyes on their properties as they can. They spent all this money on Star Wars. The movies suck. People aren't buying the merch. They finally get a hit. And they're like, yo, stop trying to piss people off. We really need people to watch our stuff. And this is not the look. We don't really want this look. This is not the case. So even this part here with the pronouns, Gina has come out and said, I am not transphobic. She's like, I respect everybody. So if you do respect everybody, just throw it in there. Putting in there she, her, whatever, does that really like hurt you? Is that really like against your beliefs? If you believe in people who identify as trans, then why would adding pronouns to your profile because your company asked you to, because you're kind of using the company to promote yourself? Why is that such a hard thing to do? Just do it. Just do it. It's not that hard. And if you want to argue, I don't like, they're making me do things I don't want to do, that's a discussion. But if your whole thing is like, oh, it hurts my brain. It just hurts my brain. You are synonymous with this property at this point. Don't fuck up the bag. Do not fuck up the bag. But she had to go and do something like this. So they kept telling her, stop. They told her to talk to like 40, she said it was like 42 people on Zoom to hear about how she hurt their feelings and all these things. She's like, I'm not doing it. And they're like, Gina, we need to repair the PR here. We're trying to give you your TV show. Our show's doing great. Just do these things, whether you believe it or not, just do the things. People will say, Gina's turned around, and we can proceed with paying you a lot of money. She had to keep going. She had to keep doing it. Had to keep doing it. So finally, February of 2021, Gina Carano's tweets and posts got her fired from The Mandalorian. It finally happened. I won't show the posts because, again, YouTube gets weird with stuff where it's like, oh, you can't say that word, you can't show that thing. Which, again, that's a whole argument in itself. That is a whole argument for itself. But she doubled down, kept posting, kept doing her thing, and people were like, Disney, what are you going to do? And eventually they said, all right, we got to do it. We got to pull the plug. Because where's the line, right? Where's the line in I can say what I want and you guys not fire me? They have to do it. They literally had no choice. And what gets me there is you rely on these people for your paycheck. If they're telling you, please stop doing blank, we want to pay you, just stop doing it. Just stop doing it. But so after she gets canned, right? She announces new movie project with Ben Shapiro's Daily Wire. They can't cancel us if we don't let them. She went on this whole push, F Disney, we're going to make our own movies. We don't need them. And the Daily Wire started to make their own movies where they're like, these are the anti-woke stuff. These are the movies for everybody who doesn't want to deal with all the snowflakes, as Dre said there. They don't want all the agendas pushed in their face. We're going to make like free content, right? Essentially pushing an agenda. But now all the Fandom Menace people are like, oh, wait, you're against woke stuff too? Fuck Disney? Yes, Gina, we are here for you. And everybody gets all excited. She does an interview with Ben Shapiro. They're going to start making movies. They even made a Snow White movie. Not her and them, but Daily Wire. Or they're making it. She's going to start making these movies. She don't need Disney anymore. I'm about free speech. I'm going to say what I want to on Twitter, X. And I'm now with a movie company who wants to make films, make movies, and they're all about my freedoms. Great. She has a middle finger to Disney, moves on. IMDb. Oh. KO. What? KO. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Again, I will be anybody who's a member on the website. I will be canceling your website membership since now you have the YouTube one. It's just easier. But thank you so much. Thank you so much. So Gina, they start putting out these movies, right? We have Terror on the Prairie, My Son Hunter, the Hunter Biden movie, and they're not doing great. They're not doing great. Nobody's watching these movies. It's not a thing. She's doing well with Comic-Con. She goes to Comic-Con. People want to go over there and pay for her autographs and do all that kind of stuff. But these movies are just terrible. They're just not good movies. So she's out there doing her thing in free speech. Say whatever you want. Doesn't matter. Fuck Disney. I thought I saved the picture, but I didn't save it on one of my tabs here. When the South Park episode for Kathleen Kennedy came out, she went in. Oh, here, I might as well just pull it up. Gina Carano's South Park tweet. She says, this is long, but I won't read the whole thing. This is the part where KK demands any YouTubers get censored off YouTube for sharing and laughing at this hilarious episode. She'll have YouTube disable the thumbs down option because of the ratio she'll receive. And goes in on Kathleen Kennedy. We all go in on Kathleen Kennedy. None of us are fans of Kathleen Kennedy. But you know what? None of us are trying to work for Kathleen Kennedy. But she doesn't want to work for her either, right? She's done with Disney. South Park finally embarrassed Kennedy, finally embarrassed Disney. We don't need those people anymore. We are bigger than Disney. The fan base is bigger than Disney. But now she wants back in. February 7th, 2024, Hollywood Reporter. Bob Iger reacts to Gina Carano's Mandalorian lawsuit with one word answer. The Disney CEO does not have much to say about the legal effort, while Elon Musk can't stop tweeting about the company. The Mandalorian actress's suit is trying to force the company to rehire her for Star Wars content. It's backed by Elon Musk, who is helping fund the suit through X. CNBC asked Iger what is his thoughts were on Musk backing the suit and potentially others like it against the company. None, said Iger flatly. None. No thoughts. No thoughts. You didn't want to listen to them when they said, please don't do this. Kept going. You got canned. You said, hey, I'm a fighter. I am the voice for the voiceless. I'm going to speak up for what's right. And I'm going to make my own stuff. I don't need Disney anymore. We don't need Disney. We are going to make our own stuff. Yeah, fast forward 4 years. Crazy ex-girlfriend threw a brick through your car, keyed your car, she rubbed a potato against the side of your car, threw her keys in the exhaust of your car, and said, please take me back. Please take me back. This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. Now, we can ultimately have two different conversations. And one of those conversations can be, should what you say online hold merit in your job, in your workplace? Should that be a thing? We're able to have the conversation. But at the end of the day, when you're the face of a company, right, you're profiting off your connection to that company. She doesn't just work at a random McDonald's down the street and only like that neighborhood knows her from McDonald's. She represents the face of an entire franchise. Her, Baby Grogu, and Din, essentially, I mean, Pedro's voice, but Din, those are like your three faces of this new show. And you're not bigger than that. You're a part of it. You're not bigger than it. She leaves. She can't make it. The Ben Shapiro shit, it's not working. Now she wants back. It's pathetic. It's absolutely pathetic. And if she sees me and wants to punch me in the face, fine. But it's ridiculous. If I was Disney, I'd be like, you know what? How about this? We're going to settle. We're going to settle on this. You want $75,000? We'll settle on this. I'll give you 50. Take a walk. And Elon's lawyers might just be like, hey, you know what? Yeah, sure. Let's just do that. Let's just do that. It's wild. And the fact that all these like people are like, yeah, go get her, Gina. Go sue Disney. Yeah, do it. I'm like, do you guys want her back working for Disney? You guys hate Disney. You guys literally, like, if I go to let me go to the where are you at? I'm going to go to the quartering just because that's what I used to watch all the time. All these videos, they hate Disney. They hate anything left. They hate all of it. So why do we want her to win this lawsuit and go back to Disney? You don't like Disney anyway. So, like, what are we doing? What are we doing? I don't get it. I really don't get it. But, you know, is what it is. I've said this before. I'll say it again. Please, for your own mental health, not to be like a leftist in this statement here. Don't just consume this kind of content. The people who make these go woke, go broke exclusive content, like it's all they do. They know that's people feed on anger, people feed on hate, and they're going to keep making the content because they know people are going to watch it. It rots your brain, man. It rots your brain, and it's just not the answer. It is not it. So I don't get it. You know, everybody, like all these videos, they hate Disney, but they want her to win. They want her back. Go outside, breathe some air. Breathe some air. Gina Carano, I'm sorry. You fucked up the bag. You fucked up the bag. It's over. And that's fine. It's fine. But we can't tie this to free speech. That is an argument that exists in the world, but that is not this argument. It's not free speech. You just got full of yourself. Happens to the best of us. Happens to the best of us. Whew. There's my rant. There's my rant. I'll scroll up before I wrap up today's episode. Oh yeah, for tomorrow's show, Cyborg Soda, no? I think you shared the picture already. Sal said, yeah, I was a fan of the quartering at one point. It got exhausting to listen to. Dude, I watched the quartering, that Star Wars girl, Ripa, whatever. Geeks and Gamers, all of it. And I'm walking around like almost waving this flag of like Disney sucks. And they're trying to make us all woke. And like nobody cared. And it took me a while to be like, wow, like I'm fighting this battle. And don't get me wrong, there have been quite a few egregious woke attempts by all the companies. And I will never shy away from calling them out on it. One of my favorites, I made a video on it. I probably deleted it when Marvel released Snowflake and let's see, Marvel Heroes, Snowflake, and Save Space. Do you guys remember that? Do you remember this? It was wild. I was like, come on, bro. Come on. What are you doing? What are you doing? So we can call out the bullshit when it's bullshit. But if you're incapable of ever seeing like anything good from these companies, like you're telling me like Star Wars has made nothing good, Disney's done nothing good at all, you're capping. You're capping. Haywire was a little underrated. The action was solid. Yeah, Haywire is not a terrible movie. I actually liked it. You get me on the show to talk about woke movies. Listen, you and I are on the same page when it comes to this. Representation, it's needed. 1,000%. 1,000%. And I feel like what these channels do is anytime representation is happening, they're like, nope. And it's like, bro, just watch the show. Just watch the show. Just watch the show, and if it sucks, it sucks. Or don't watch it. That's fine too. Remember when they were all going ham on what's the Game of Thrones show? The prequel series, Reign of Fire or something. They went ham. Look at it. Everything's woke. The one race of people, they're black and they got blonde hair. They're just trying to blah, 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 blah. And they all fucking ended up liking the show. They all watched it and were just like, it's actually good. You know? It's ridiculous. But that's the gimmick. And so many of those creators are pot committed. If they start releasing anything, like if the Quartering made a video about how much he liked Ahsoka, it would discredit everything he did. It would discredit everything. And they know that. Now, you guys know I hated Ahsoka, but that's just the example. Oh man, remember those days? Mandalorian was saving bro. It was. The Mandalorian season 1. Casual people were into Star Wars once again. Those days are gone. Not even Pedro. If he decided to take an unpopular stand, then they'll replace him with Grogu and move on. Exactly. It's a tight line to walk because everyone has to worry about being canceled. So it's a yes and no. It's almost like all you have to do is just not say anything stupid. Like, you could say things to an extent that are against the grain, but you just can't say anything stupid, right? And any company has the right to be like, hey, man, we're really making this initiative because I'm going to make up a company, right? McFarlane. I got Steel yesterday in the mail, super pumped to open this figure, realize it's a plastic cape, and that pisses me off. Nonetheless, let's say that McFarlane, this is not true, right? So don't say, but let's say that McFarlane had people alleged that McFarlane Toys never made any black characters. Every character was white, even though McFarlane's like, dude, I draw black characters all the time. But let's say toy-wise, he didn't have a lot of black characters, right? He may say to himself, all right, guys, let's pump out some more black characters, because people are really starting to think I don't like support people that are black and don't want to release black characters. Let's start putting out some black characters. Let's show people that their perception of us is not accurate. Great. We're all on the same page here. We need more representation in figures. But let's say that the person who makes these molds, right, who's the number one mold maker, sculptor of the figures, starts posting up some like racist stuff. You know, things that you're like you're not really saying it, but we know what you're saying. It's kind of like racist. The company could be like, hey man, we're really trying to make this whole like push that we're not racist, but you are part of our company. People know you sculpt for us and you're saying some racist shit. Can you stop? It's really against what we're trying to do here. It's against what we believe, but really it's against what we're trying to do here. The person goes, no, I ain't stopping. That's what I believe. You see how that's like, that doesn't make sense? That doesn't work? You can't do that. You can't do that. It's not even, it's not at a certain point, it's not a woke thing. It's just like the company's trying to do blank and you're outwardly effing that up. It doesn't work. That's not how it works. I don't totally agree with you. I would have rather seen her abstain from getting involved with this stuff instead of fighting it. I also understand her employer setting guidelines and firing her. Oh, so you see both sides of it. So I totally don't agree with you. I would rather have seen her abstain from getting involved with that stuff instead of getting, yeah. So, but that's, I agree with that statement. Like, if you think the pronouns thing is dumb, then just stay quiet. Unless you want to take that chance. But if you don't agree with it, just stay quiet. And ultimately, if your company is like, hey man, we are trying to collectively take this stance and show that we are supporting this group, can you please just add this on there? Please, like, and if you're like, oh, I don't hate that group, but no, I'm not doing it. It's kind of dumb. It's like, don't die on that hill. That's not the hill to die on. There are other political things to die on. I feel like she was so ignorant at that point. I'm not angry at the firing. I agree with Sal. My only issue is that they need to hold everyone to the same standard. I agree with that. I do agree with that. I have a job that my public opinion I have a job that my public opinion can hurt me really bad. I get it. Dude, I get it. Like I said, where I think the line in the sand is people should not be afraid to state their political beliefs. Like actually, I think legally you cannot be fired for that. Like you cannot be fired for like, oh, I'm a Republican, here's my thought. Oh, I'm a libertarian, here's my thought. Oh, I'm a Democrat. Like a company cannot fire you for that. But if something is against a group of people, right? That's where I'm like, yo, come on. She was posting all about the election fraud stuff. Disney's like, hey, chill. Like, come on. If you want to believe it, hell, Gina Carano, make a fake Twitter and share all the election fraud stuff you want. But please don't do that. Like, we at Disney, we don't even side with politicians. So please don't do that. It's not what we like to do. She couldn't help herself. People on one side can say controversial shit all day long, but then the other side's saying something and then it's a big problem. So that is an issue. I agree that that's an issue, but then you have to work at a different company. Like if you're at a company that is like, hey, that take doesn't align with what we're trying to say publicly for our perception, you have to be like, all right, I'll chill. But once I'm out of here, I'm going wild. You know? And the other thing is, it's a matter of what is a controversial shit on both sides or all three sides. Whatever that controversial stuff is, that's where you have to say to yourself, all right, can this be deemed offensive? And does it hold merit? You know, like there's plenty of arguments people say that are wild on all sides where you're like, you kind of have a point there, but is it worth putting your job in jeopardy for? I don't think so. But if it's something against a group of people, I think that's pretty straightforward. Don't do it. Don't they only show those movies on their streaming service? I think, yeah. I'm pretty sure. She wants that mouse money, yeah. Clout's a hell of a drug, yep. So did anybody else get that joke? Let me just scroll down. Yeah, the thumbnails are hilarious. I don't think anybody else got that joke. It was an episode of Fresh Prince, and Hillary wanted to get back at a boyfriend that was cheating on her. So Will was like, oh, well, key the car and throw a potato in the exhaust pipe. And Hillary came back all excited, like, I did it. He's like, great. She's like, yeah, I rubbed the potato on the side of the car and threw my keys in his tailpipe. That's where that's from. D-Fran in the house, good to see ya. Legacy, good to see ya. I think I've repeated it since you asked that question, D-Fran. They did hold Pedro to the same standards. He was talked to, and he apologized, unlike Gina. Yeah. So Pedro made a post tying, if you're a Republican, to other historical hate groups. He had to delete it and had to apologize. It's cringe. Yep. I'd be learning all about Star Wars back-end stuff on the internet after I enjoy a whole casual season of something. Like, that's why a character just evaporated. Yeah. It does hold weight, because look at guys like Kevin Hart, Cat Williams, and more who can get canceled or attacked based on what they say. Yeah, but here's the other thing too. You can be, and this is what she was trying to do. You can be canceled in the broad sense, but if your fans still back you, you can almost like overcome it, right? Ezra Miller is like the only exception to everything said today. The Ezra Miller thing is wild, where the company thought that he might be bigger than company, and we need them. That's like the only exception to this whole argument. But I look at comedians like Chris D'Elia, for example, right? Chris D'Elia is accused of some pretty effed up shit. If you look it up online, tons of videos on it. But Chris D'Elia still sells out comedy shows. Podcast still gets a bunch of views, bunch of downloads. So you can only be canceled to a certain extent if your fans still rock with you. Look at Alex Jones, right? Alex Jones pulled off everything. Pulled off YouTube, Spotify, Apple, everything. Canceled. But the fan base was big enough that they're like, well, it doesn't matter. We'll just go with you wherever you go. Gina Carano was not that person. Her people were following Cara Dune. People were fans of Cara Dune in Star Wars, not Gina Carano Cara Dune. It's just Cara Dune. She thought that Gina Carano was in Star Wars, that Gina Carano was that character. No, Cara Dune's the character. If you don't have that connection to the show, the fans don't care. So yes, you can be canceled that way. But if you yourself are a star, Kevin Hart, Cat Williams, whoever, then yeah, you can offset being canceled, because you don't need Hollywood, you don't need Disney, you don't need YouTube, all that stuff. Kenobi, you're missing a lively comment section without giant text and background fire. House of the Dragon. That's what it was. Rain and Fire is a great movie though. Mayfix Steel's on sale. I kind of just want to get a cloth cape for him. I feel like if I just get a cloth cape, I'll be good. That'd be good. All right. I have to leave for work. And that's why I don't say crazy shit on the internet, because I still have to go to a job. The banana in a tailpipe trip worked for me. Guess that movie. Ooh, that one I can't think of. Beverly Hills Cop. There you go. Yeah. So, I mean, this is definitely a conversation for maybe a stream on its own. You guys have a lot of takes, and to put a bow on it, I do think that free speech should be protected. I do believe that everybody's voices should be heard. I think what cannot be promoted is hate against people. And I think that's where people will try to use hateful things and tie it to free speech. And I don't think that the two are the same. I think those are two very different things. You can say who you believe in. You can say, this is my political belief. This is my religious belief. And that's fine. But if that starts to affect a different group, your speech, your beliefs are to shut down another group, that's where there's a line that's crossed. And at the end of the day, if you're going to be a worker, you're a worker. You're an employee. Follow the rules. The rules could be wrong. The rules, could be silly. They could be whatever. But at the end of the day, if you have an employer and the employer says, please don't do blank, that's fine. And reminder, even T3 mentioned it before. They gave her warnings. It's not like they fired her on the spot. It's not like she said the election was fake and they fired her instantly. She just kept going and they kept saying, stop, please stop. Don't blah, 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 blah. And she wouldn't do it. So is what it is. Is what it is. Yeah, but Alex Jones said the Sandy Hook school shooting was fake. So yeah, he should have been canceled. Yeah. A lot of lives ruined by his commentary on that. So yeah, people like that are, piece of shit. Like, kids lost their lives, dude. Like, but what's sad, similar to we were looking at the Phantom Menace stuff, what's sad is that there are a lot of people who just want to keep fighting this invisible enemy. And if that's the only content you watch and consume, it can make you a really angry, hateful person. And that's not what we need. We need to all love each other. We need to all support one another. If you want to identify as a cat, go for it. I don't care. Just you do you. Don't hurt anybody else. And the world will be a fine place. The world will be a fine place. So what do Stanley used to say? Like, be good to one another, love each other and stuff. Do that. Let's all love each other. No more hate. No more hate. #and hate. Gina Carano, you fucked up. You fucked up.